Orlando is becoming a hub for innovation. On this segment, I'm so thrilled to be joined by the Director of Smart Cities at the City of Orlando. Charles Ramdatt has experience in project and construction management, transportation engineering, parking systems management, and intelligent transportation systems. He is a consulting engineer who focuses on large infrastructure projects and leads the Smart City team at the City of Orlando. Charles, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Becky.
So, Charles, let's talk about how Orlando has evolved over as a smart city in the past year or so, what you guys have really done. Actually, I should say the past several years, you guys have really evolved and tried to do a whole lot of things. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so over the last 3 years, we have been rebranding many of the things that we've been doing separately and adding things to them to have them all fall under the umbrella of a smart city. We have been modeling our GreenWorks Orlando program, which is a decades-old program that focuses on sustainability. So that program has engaged the stakeholders, and it has allowed us to share challenges with stakeholders and to understand their expectations. So now we, on our smart city journey, are doing the same thing for a wide range of different city areas, such as public works, with which you spoke, about which you spoke with Rick Howard before. Solid waste, he covered quite well there. We're covering transportation comprehensively. We're covering green buildings, energy, public safety, and a big one, which is the foundation of smart cities, is information communications technology.
When you look at all these areas that you've had to put together, it takes a lot. I always comment that it takes a village to make all these things kind of work, a lot of collaboration. How are you guys doing that in the city of Orlando to make all that work when you talk about transportation, buildings, and all the sustainability that you're putting it together? There's a lot that has to happen. How have you been able to do that?
Actually, we have very sharp people who are already managing these areas. So what we're trying to do as a smart city is to bring emerging technologies on a sustainable and affordable basis to managing all of these areas. So we already have smart people. We're just bringing another dimension to what they're already doing to essentially make it more efficient and to make sure that we're on the leading edge of how we deliver services and how we respond to our stakeholders.
Well, think about that, because as you described, many things have had to change, but there's also had to be a lot of hurdles to make all this happen. But let's talk about that, because it's never easy to make something successful happen. So
through the best practices that we continue to learn, we're actually doing this on a continuing basis with a lot of our staff through various parts of the city who are in professional organizations. We learn about the emerging trends. We also follow groups such as the Smart Cities Council, Smart Cities Connect, and the National Science Foundation, many others. And we stay abreast of the emerging trends, and we study the lessons that are learned by many other cities, not just in the US, but in Europe and Asia as well.
How does a city of your size, when you look at your, about what, 277,000 citizens, I would say, residents of your size, how do you actually work to make all of this come together? Do you stand out compared to other cities? I would ask that question.
I'm glad you said that, because we are a city of about 277,000 and in an urban area that's just under 3 million in population, and an urban area that gets over 68 million visitors per year. So we are punching above our weight class. But we have seasoned professionals who've been doing this for a long time, and we know what our major challenges are. We are focusing not on the full breadth of smart cities right now, which will take us 20 to 30 years to accomplish, but we're looking at our major challenges. What are our vulnerabilities and so on? How do we address those first off? And that's what we're doing. We're trying to do it very well. We think we're doing it very well. And we're also trying to make sure we do a good job of including the underserved and the vulnerable.
When you look at all of that, when you say that, are these, when one of the things that I think that you guys talk a lot about is saying that you want to be a community and you care for the community, and that being able to serve them not only as the citizens that you have there, but your businesses, and that being one that cares. And it takes a lot of work to do that. So what kind of tools do you want to say that you're using? Is there specific technologies that you're doing? Is it saying you want to incorporate the businesses that you're doing with their types of technologies? What does it require in order to accomplish that?
We have a comprehensive civic and stakeholder engagement program through our community affairs, our communications staff at the city, where we reach every demographic through the means that would be the means that they would be using. For example, social media for the appropriate demographics. We use emails and internet outreach for other demographics. We have ongoing community meetings with different elements of our community, the businesses, the downtown Orlando businesses, separate from other businesses through the community, different neighborhood groups and so on. So we have a comprehensive, ongoing approach to engagement, and it's a dialogue that goes on, each month, each quarter. So we are not getting surprises. We're sharing our challenges with them and our approaches. We're getting feedback from them, learning what their expectations are. And if you have an ongoing way of communicating with folks through different means for all these different demographics, then it is fairly simple, as opposed to trying to, engage them once a year or twice a year. That would be very difficult.
Well, then help me understand what advice you would give construction professionals who are in your community about what they need to do to contribute to this growth that you have, and working with city planners to be a part of that. I mean, besides, everybody knows the 20,000 square foot you have in Disney World and what Walt Disney's done in building in an enterprise like that, right? But other construction companies who say they want to be a part of this community that you've built?
For construction companies, what we would tell them, first off, civic engagement is number one. So you start in any relationship, you want to be understood and you want to understand the other parties. Civic engagement has to be where you start. You've got to let them know what your challenges are. You've got to bring various technologies to the process to communicate this to different people who might be busy, who might need to come back and look at a video or check online or check social media to see what you have going and to get regular updates from you. So that would be the number one thing: information management and stakeholder engagement. Know who your customers are, know who might be using your facilities, know who might be traversing your project sites and so on, and communicate that via a wide range of methods, be it social media, the internet, newspapers, television, and so on. But if you're doing that every day as appropriate or every week, then it's, again, not a very heavy lift.
Charles Ramdatt, the Director of Smart Cities at the City of Orlando, thank you so much for being with us.
You're most welcome, Mickey.
All right. Well, that's someone you should know.